Good morning.
Good morning.
We appreciate everyone doing what they had to do to get out in this weather, and certainly I understand from the experts here that the media is likely covering the weather. So, I don't know if we need the mic, but I'm Malcolm Costa with Akron Summit Community Action. I just wanted to make a couple comments, and certainly we have some very important and critical information to discuss, and some people that are experts at it. We come together as advocates and leaders to express the strong support for the Earned Income Tax Credit. This is the most successful anti-poverty program in America and has been always supported through bipartisan efforts. The local coalition was organized 9 years ago to set up the Akron Summit EITC as a program promoting the Earned Income Tax Credit for low and moderate income working individuals and families. Free tax returns for over 2,000 hardworking families are prepared each year through the efforts of the IRS Voluntary Income Tax Assistance Program and the Community Services Block Grant. For more than a decade, public officials in Summit County, beginning with Mayor Don Pasquale and then Congressman Sherrod Brown when he began to represent this area, urged employers and the broader community to focus on claiming the EITC. The University of Akron and Cascade Village will also operate tax preparation sites under the Akron Summit EITC Coalition. We are also pleased that Mayor Bill Judge of Barberton is joining the elected public officials as part of the coalition. It is now more important than ever to support a program that has a history of success helping working families better their economic conditions, save money on tax preparation, and resist high-cost refund anticipation loans. In addition to helping these families, the EICT also helps the economy. EITC dollars are typically spent on food, children's clothes, housing, and other necessities, further stimulating the local tax base. EITC reduces the tax burden on workers and supplements their wages, allowing them to climb the economic ladder. EITC is a success story for millions of hardworking families, but can be made even better. With the EITC Coalition working together, we can ensure that this vital safety net will help families get through these difficult economic times and have the additional funding they need to make ends meet. I'd like to now introduce, and who is certainly no stranger to this program and serves as the honorary chair, the Mayor of the City of Akron, Donald L. Pasquale.
Get wrapped up here in the wires. I appreciate the opportunity to come here and preach to the choir. I was going to say I hope the media gets the word out, but clearly they're not here, and all of you in this room know how important this program is. There's one thing that I think we need to keep, there's two things. One is to continue to remind everyone so that when they talk about this out in the community, that people understand that this was a program that was proposed, and it's one of the only things, or few things, that I probably agreed with that he did when he was president. But President Reagan helped put this in place, and his idea was that we needed to encourage people to take a job, and even though it may be a low-paying job, it still could lead to something better, and getting people into the workforce is better than having them sit outside and providing these additional funds to supplement what they earn. It encouraged even more people to work. And from the perspective of the community, it probably doesn't matter a whole lot of why that this was developed, but we know it can mean literally millions of additional dollars if everyone participates. And so it is important for us to get the message out, and I'm happy to see Mayor Judge here to help in this effort. The city of Barberton is the closest city to Akron in terms of its demographics. Age is an older industrial city, and the difficulties that some people have had adjusting to this new economy that we have, new economic times that we've entered into. So it's good to see you here, and I hope we can continue to have many other partnerships, and maybe we won't always make it so difficult for you to get here from Farmwood Barberton. I want to leave with one other thing that's not something that would be typical maybe of folks to talk about here, because you all know the real story and what it does. And Malcolm said it when he said that people who receive this earned income tax credit spend the money in the community almost immediately. And I never forget sitting watching a couple of years ago and all the debate about the stimulus and criticizing the president because he wanted to do one thing or another. And I saw on the talking head shows one of the most right-wing conservative people saying what we really need is to get cash out in the hands of the real people of the United States. Well, the people who receive this are real people in our country, and they spend it on necessities. And that means products and services right here in our local community. They don't send it overseas for some investment. They don't ship a job outside, taking this money and doing all those other things. They spend it here. And so it's vitally important that we encourage people. I want to put my pitch in, and I'll never ever talk about this without saying it. And I didn't do it intentionally, so help me God. But 3 times in the last 20 years, and it just happened again last year, and it was almost when I got it, I couldn't believe it, because I really tried hard to make sure I only had 2 stories to tell. But I fill out my own tax form. I don't have deductions and a bunch of things and stuff. I just fill in the form, and I swear I am able to read over the chart. But for the 3rd time in the last 20 years, the IRS has said, Mr. Pasquale, you made a mistake. And I've made all 3, honest to God, against my own interest. And so my IRS in our country says to me, a college graduate who has a business degree, who's taken tax classes, and an attorney, no, Mr. Pasquale, even though you didn't ask for it, we're going to give you an extra $450 or whatever the amount was. And every time I do that, first time it didn't hit me so hard. The second time, and I talked about it before, and then of course it happened again last year. I had to bring the letter apart. But the point of that is, if they can do that for me, you know, they really ought to say, you know, after going to business school and law school, if you're too dumb to fill out your own form and make a mistake, we ain't going to give you any more money. But the people at the lowest end of the spectrum, meaning they probably don't have a high-level college education, they probably haven't taken a tax class or business class, we make them go to a volunteer or somewhere and know that this program exists and actually have to claim it, actually have to file for it, to beg for it in a way. And it is, in my opinion, a huge mistake that Congress made when they passed this. I have literally just as recently as Monday talked to Senator Brown's office, again, just because they were meeting and I reminded them. I brought this up in meetings with Pelosi, and virtually every meeting that I attend with the Conference of Mayors, we talk about this in some way, trying to get this effort to lobby Congress to change the rules to say you have an earned income tax credit. When you file your form, if you make a certain amount of money and you have a certain amount of dependents, it's a formula, just like they did for me. And I'm sure it wasn't some kind-hearted person, it was just a computer. And a computer could calculate this. I don't want to take off, you know, the focus of what we're here for. But honestly, we all need to write letters and talk about this in simple terms of what it could do. It's already a program in place. Why not make it permanently in place, calculated by the IRS if they forget to check on that they want it? We gotta, you know, go ahead and say, Mr. Smith, you get that money. So I appreciate really all that Summit Action agency has done in many ways with this community, but I especially appreciate all your efforts and the volunteer effort that goes into this to at least work with the rules we have and make the best of it for the people who really need this, who really put it to good use. And by the way, our businesses are helped when people spend this money. It's not just one-sided. Our businesses are helped. So I appreciate all of you. I didn't mean to get too far off here, but it's important, I think, that when we look at things and try to correct them, that we could do something here that would be beneficial for many people in this community, and they wouldn't have to then have those volunteers. We could spend all those thousands of volunteer hours helping in another way. But thank you all for helping. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor Pasquale. It's a pleasure for me to be here today. I apologize, it's the second week on the job. I don't have any stories yet. I promise to have some next year. The City of Barberton is once again proud to partner with the Akron Summit Community Action Group in offering this tax credit. Providing this service and education is key to knowing the various tax benefits and credits that are available. I agree with the Mayor Pasquale that this should be automatic on the forms or via the computer through the IRS. It just makes total sense. Last year in Barberton, these participants saved $250 per return in tax preparation fees. And that's money, again, as the Mayor stated, that goes back into the community directly. At the end of the day, when we talk about this tax credit, this program offers peace of mind to the participants. With so much going on in the economy and the world, a simple program like this really means a lot. This program is a win-win for the qualified residents, the government, and the entire community. Again, as listed on the handouts, the program will be conducted at the Barberton Parks and Recreation Division / Active Adult Center in Barberton. And again, we're proud to be a part of this and look forward to working with the City of Akron and the Akron Summit Community Action Group. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pasquale and Mayor Judge. I'd like to just mention a few of the groups that are part of the coalition. 9 years ago, when the decision to try to organize a coalition and put together something to do taxes was a very easy decision, Mayor. We had, in fact, Gloria McGee at the time, who was the state director of the IRS program, came to Akron, and they talked about the possibility of putting something together at that time. So it was, I believe, representatives of the city and Sherrod Brown, at that time was congressman, were there, and it was very easy to understand how the support was already there to do this. And then we reached out to a number of different organizations, and they responded, and I think we have a very strong coalition. I'd say one of the strongest in the state of Ohio. We've been able to really keep together for a long time and expand. Gloria mentioned, I believe earlier, that the first year we did 240 tax returns, and last year we did well over 2,000 tax returns. So, and it doesn't mean an awful lot, but in addition to doing the taxes, in many cases, earlier and earlier, there are advertisements in the media about getting your taxes done by many different types of groups. And one of the things that happens often is that people are, let's say, attracted to get they think they get their taxes done before Christmas, and then they can walk away before Christmas with a big fat loan against the tax return, not understanding how much it's really going to cost them and the kind of complications that they often end up facing. Community legal aid, and I'm glad to see Sarah Stratton here, has worked with folks who have been caught up in issues in these situations for many, many years. And it takes a long, long time to resolve the kinds of problems that often go hand in hand with the, let's say, the industry that in some cases would be considered predatory, lending. I wanted to introduce the coalition, the groups that are involved in the coalition and who have committed their resources, their time and energy, and really made this thing work. The Summit County League of Credit Unions was there from the beginning, as was the United Way of Summit County, the City of Barberton, of course, Community Legal Aid Services, the NAACP, Barberton Branch, Info Line, which was one of the original partners. Cascade Village has just agreed to become involved. The Akron Summit County Library, the public library, has been extremely helpful in getting the word out and providing information and also serving as tax for training preparation sites for the AARP program for many, many, many years before we started. Department of Job and Family Services has been a strong partner. Akron Metropolitan Housing Authority has been there from the beginning. Akron General Medical Center, Akron Children's Hospital Medical Center was also there along with Akron General from the beginning. Key Bank has been a very, very important partner and is committed across the country. Key Bank commits to what's called Super Saturdays, and they have sponsored the Super Saturday, the critical Super Saturday for us for many, many years, and so we appreciate their commitment and representation. The University of Akron over the last few years has really expanded, stepped up. The George W. DeVario School of Accountancy, along with the law school, they have gotten some of their students, the law students and business students, mayors, that have served as volunteers and worked very, very hard to reach out to the not only the campus but also the Akron University community. PNC Bank has made a very nice commitment and will be doing a Super Saturday. First Merit Bank is represented here as well, and they're very, very active in the region with respect to EITC, and then of course the Barberton Mayor, Mayor Judge, and we've worked very closely there with the city, and I'm very excited about the potential there in Barberton. So we would like to again salute. This is not an Akron Summit Community Action, game alone. Even though we happen to have some board members. Diane Miller Dawson represents the mayor on our board and serves as treasurer, and John Nelson represents South Akron target area on the board. So this is a community-wide effort, and we're very, very fortunate to be able to be a part of it, and we really feel that it has been a very, very important part of our work. Thank you. I'm going to call Gloria McGee, the project administrator, forward to talk a little more about the details. And as indicated, Gloria retired from the IRS. I don't know how she got the service that would be required for retirement. But we've been very fortunate that she has served in this role for the last several years. So, Gloria.
Thanks, Malcolm. he really made my day. I don't have any children, but my nieces and nephews are always teasing me. I'm the kissing aunt, and I want to stay young. You've seen this commercial where this grandmother is doing this dance or whatever, but that's me, so I want to stay young. So Malcolm, you made my day. Thank you. I started with the IRS, I guess, when I was 9. I love taxes. Once you get into preparing returns and doing taxes, you love it. And that's why you do your own return. It's a challenge to see. It's just something about that. You get a rush or urge to do taxes once you get into it. So I love taxes, and that's why I consented to do this program and be the program administrator. And I get upset when I have to do the paperwork. I'd rather do the returns and do all of that because it's really fun. But anyway, I'm not here for that. For this filing season, we're going to have 5 traditional sites. One at Akron Summit Community Action at 670 West Exchange, and then one at the ASCA Springfield office. And that's going to be like a mobile site. So we'll only be there on like 4 Saturdays, which is good because we're going to service that community. And then we're at the Barberton Parks and Recreation on Mondays doing taxes. And then we're at the University of Akron doing taxes on Saturday. And then Cascade Village called me last week, so this is a last minute site, but they're going to be a mobile site also. So they're going to do 7 occurrences. So they're going to do some Tuesdays and some Saturdays. So we got to get all of these people trained, but we can do it. And then in addition to the traditional sites, this year we're going to have 3 what we're calling do-it-yourself return sites, where we're trying to educate people and make them more self-sufficient, where they can come in and do their own return. We'll provide the computer, and I have to have a certified volunteer, Michelle, there to assist the taxpayers. And we have a website where they can file their return, their federal and their state return, and hopefully their city return. I got to work that out on this site. So we can get some more people educated to do their own return. We're in good shape, because when you come into a traditional site, you have to bring in certain documentation like your Social Security card and all these other things. But if they don't want to be bothered with that, or they don't want to wait, they can always go and do their own return, and we can assist them and do it. It might mean that we might have to do a lot of assisting initially, but that'll be the challenge and the good thing about it. Because once you can educate a person about the knowledge of their return, I think you're better off, and then that makes that person better off about their tax matters. So we're going to have 3 sites that are do-it-yourself returns. You can't lean on this. It's the Akron Summit Community Action. We're going to do that on Saturdays only. And then at Barberton, we're going to do it on Mondays also. So we're going to be doing the traditional sites, and if they want to do their own sites. And then at the University of Akron on Saturdays. And in addition to these traditional sites and this do-it-yourself sites, we're going to have 4 Super Saturdays. So we're going to be Super Saturdaying it all over the place. And what Super Saturday means is you don't need to make an appointment. You just walk in. First come, first serve. And the first one is on February 4th, and it's being sponsored by Key Bank, and that's at 670 West Exchange. So on that Super Saturday, we're going to do the regular tax preparation and hopefully operate the do-it-your-own return preparation. Then on February 18th, we're going to have another Super Saturday at 670 West Exchange, and that's sponsored by PNC Bank. And then on February 25th, we're going to have a Super Saturday at the University of Akron. That's sponsored by First Merit Bank. And then on February 25th, we're going to have a Super Saturday at the Barberton Parks and Recreation, sponsored by First Merit Bank. I have a sheet over there and some handouts in case you need some that lists all the sites and the hours that might be helpful to the community. I think that's all I had, Mr. Custer. Thank you. Bell. Michelle Bell is the SPAC Territory Manager. She's located in Cincinnati now. Michelle just picked up is incorporating the Cleveland Territory employees into her operation under Cincinnati. So I guess they'll be going to Cincinnati for their meetings. But I want to introduce Michelle Bell from IRS.
Good morning. Thank you, Gloria. I have several stories, but I don't want to belabor the time. But I do want to comment on Gloria's comment with regard to loving taxes and preparing tax returns. And I'm going to, I guess, kind of contradict some of the things that Malcolm said about her age, because we started, and she'll get me for this later. I remember when we had a program here up north in the Cleveland area, helping prepare tax returns as IRS employees. And I was kind of the manager of that employee, and Gloria was one of our site coordinators. And she really does enjoy this. So just to let you know, she's been doing this for quite a long time, because we started that program back in But I'm happy to be here. I do want to say that I do recall when the Akron Summit Community EITC program came into existence. I kind of was a part of that. And under Gloria's leadership at that time, because she had the Cleveland, our organization has changed a little bit, and as Gloria said, I now have picked up the Cleveland area, which is more counties up north, to add to what I already have, which are 12 counties in southwest Ohio and the entire state of Kentucky. But I'm happy to be back here, happy to see some familiar faces, and just want to share a few comments with you. And first I want to say thanks to Akron Mayor Donald Plusquelic, and I see he had to run out, and Mayor Barberton Mayor Bill Judge for their leadership and commitment, support and efforts in partnership with IRS, the other community organizations, for this free tax assistance in the Akron, Springfield, and Barberton communities, and helping people understand that are eligible for earned income tax credit, how they can actually claim it. I also want to take a few minutes to thank Malcolm Costa from the Akron Summit Community Action Organization for his dedication and commitment to the project and his enthusiastic support and assistance in helping make the earned income tax credit awareness in this area more known. The effort has truly been joint. We have pretty much supported it. I won't say pretty much. We have supported it, and we're very happy to have this partnership with them. This partnership we have is very valued by us and providing this assistance to those who need it the most. I want to echo the comments about the earned income tax credit being important and how the money that people get through this credit and other credits are put back into the community. That is very important, and I just want to echo that. And through the partnerships that we have always reached a large number of people that are eligible for the credit in this area. However, we know through our research there's still roughly 20 to 25% of eligibles that are not claiming this credit, which makes this effort by Malcolm, the mayors, and everyone in this room that are part of this program more important. We're very excited about the returns that will be prepared in the Akron and Barberton, Springfield areas at these sites, whether it's the traditional or the self-help method. We know that the majority of these returns will be filed electronically, which we're very pleased with that, which means that the individuals will receive their refund probably in a very short period of time, in as little as 10 days. In closing, I just want to say to all of you, especially to Malcolm Costas, the mayors, and everyone that's a part of this effort, we look forward to filing season 2012. And we're happy that you're working in partnership with us and each other to raise the awareness of the earned income tax credit to those in the Akron, Barberton, Springfield areas. Thank you so much, and have an awesome filing season.
You know, I'm used to pulling the microphone down. Just wanted to you know, as we wind down, just thank everyone for coming out today on such a day like this. And again, just express the deepest appreciation for the commitments of the coalition partners. It's difficult, these kinds of efforts are very difficult, and I know that even during the time that we've been in operation, going back to 2003, there were some communities that had very strong coalition partnerships at that time, and then over the years, from time to time, from year to year, it changed, so that there were some groups that didn't exist anymore. So that it changes. It's very difficult because of many changes that happen within local communities, and organizations start with certain kinds of commitments and leadership and involvement, and then things change. So we've had members of the coalition, I don't know, fortunately or unfortunately, I guess depending upon your beliefs, but there are some that are kind of looking down on us, members that started with us, or especially I remember the AERP representative who was very diligent, but you know, along the way, you know, things happen. People have retired. People have left their jobs, and you know, there have been elections. It was difficult in the very beginning to get Summit County involved, and several years ago, Russ Pry was elected, and they took a different perspective on it and making a very strong commitment to EITC, which allowed us to expand more into the county. In the beginning, it was just Akron, so we expanded into the county, and then we're focusing on Barberton, and you know, take a look at some of the other areas where there are needs. So it is difficult, but we've tried to make sure that it's clear that it's a very important program and work with new folks coming in, and I'm again very glad that we've had the kind of continuity represented by, you know, Community Legal Aid and certainly Mayor Pasquale. So again, thank you, and the IRS talks in terms of have a happy filing season. we talk in terms of we want to recognize and acknowledge Martin Luther King holiday and the tax filing season. Again, thank you.